About a year and a half or a year and a couple of months ago, we have been targeted by a woman named Carrie Donovan. And I'm going to, let me just give you a warm up right here for what this is. So this is Carrie Donovan in action, just to get a little bit of background. She calls herself a journalist. She trolls other Jewish journalists. Here she is asking a journalist, Jamie Suskind, who is, I mean, he's kind of a middle of the road guy, but she's asking him, hey, can I have an interview? He's like, Carrie, looking at your timeline, I'm not into it, right? I mean, then she goes and she attacks him, immediately goes and calls him a Nazi Jew. How did she know that he was a Jew? The last name, right? She calls him some sort of Nazi Jew that worship Muslims and hates liberty seeking Jews so much that he designs a way to kill off our free speech. Okay. When you start bringing people's religion into the conversation, when it's not a part of the conversation, you might be an anti-Semite, especially when you're calling someone a Nazi Jew. All right, here's another one, another example. Here's another guy, Abe Seaman. He's a journalist. He's not my favorite, let me tell you. Happens to be Jewish. You're a coward who refuses to be Jewish enough to defend your own liberty. It's embarrassing. You'd rather appease a lunatic like Elizabeth Warren, bootlicker. All right. Bringing somebody's religion into the conversation when it wasn't a part of the conversation for no reason, kind of a big deal. Now, she'd already called this guy a Nazi. So here he is saying, you're a Christian pretending to be Jewish and you are going to lecture me about being Jewish enough. I mean, he's a fair point. All right. All right. So here we go. I am Christian and I am Jewish. Okay. This isn't Messianic Jewish.
No.
This is I'm going to abuse you and be an anti-Semite and I can get away with it because I'm going to call myself whatever. It's called an American. The implication is he's not because he's a Jew. You get it?
Well, I think what gets me here too is Judeo-Christian means they're rooted from the same place biblically. It is not a religion.
Right. This is what we're dealing with here though, right?
Right.
This is, so I'm just giving you a background into who we're getting ready to launch into and talk about. Okay. And he says, you're full of blah, blah, blah. You can't be a Christian and a Jew. We said the same thing, but I think in nicer terms. All right. Yeah. This is called deicide. So when you talk about Jesus killing, Jews killing Jesus, the State Department of the United States calls that anti-Semitism. Most people call it anti-Semitism. And it's a problem, even though a full fourth of the United States believes that, according to a Pew poll a few years ago. It's usually because they're ignorant, right? A lot of because by the way, they did that poll, you guys, and the poll, it's the more educated one is, the less likely they are to think that. So a lot of people are just kind of mistaken, right? All right, Jews killed Jesus. Let's not pretend. Yeah.
I mean, actually, the Romans killed Jesus, but we won't go there.
Exactly. Right. But here she goes. Jews set him up, framed him, lied about him, hand him over to the Romans, blah, blah, blah. Truth is not hate. And then says to a Jew, if people hate you, it's for good reason, no doubt. Because you're Jewish and you killed Jesus. So this is kind of what we're dealing with here. Now, so let's flash forward. My first really interaction with Carrie Donovan coming after us, I think it was like last February. You might have remembered this story. If you're living in Charlotte, if you're living in Charlotte, you know that there was a junior high school that had a teacher. I guess it was a test. There was a test, a couple test questions or a book they read. And anyway, it either denied the Holocaust altogether or basically minimized the Holocaust. Totally. And you'll see Brooke here. Brooke's a Jewish mom. I'm a Jewish mom. We had a Facebook Live to discuss this. So up pops Carrie Donovan on our Facebook Live trolling us. In fact, she said a lot of things that I didn't snapshot it quickly enough and it was gone. But one of the things she said was, look, Holocaust denial should be taught in schools because the Holocaust is taught in schools, to be fair. That's okay. So this gives you an idea. Yeah. Okay. All right.
She is all over the place.
she's a little nuts. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
these two women, Sloan and Brooke, are making up a story about what happened on a Facebook page, and other participants say didn't happen. Well, no kidding. People that critics say that we're making things up all the time. That's not a big deal, right? We don't have to invent stories about CRT. In other words, shh, you're Jewish, you don't get the right to talk about Holocaust denial. And anyway, talking about Holocaust denial is very dangerous because we are going to damage the Republicans. We never brought up politics in this. But that's the theme of anti-Semitism. Jews are the outsiders. They have their own little cabal. They have their own little plan to undermine. It's us versus them mentality. Us versus them. We're dangerous. We're Jewish. We're complaining about something that, guess what? It's in our purview to do so. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch, but we're dangerous. Pay attention, y'all. She's advocating Holocaust minimization as damaging Republicans. So she goes on. Also, critical race theory doesn't care about Jews other than, I don't know, she can't spell worth a damn, other than to set up the Holocaust to start a conversation about slavery and start a diversionary fight to keep people divided. Holocaust denial also keeps people divided. I've got news. This offense from a Jewish mom is a diversion. Okay, so, you're robbing, again, it's not about not liking Jews. It's about denying Jews the same rights that other people have, right? That's what it's about. That's anti-Semitism. She can't stop doing this, by the way. So and this is maybe a month later. She continues to do it, okay? Sloan makes money off of Republicans. By the way, this person has accused EFA of being fraudulent since our very founding. That I'm a troublemaker making money off of Republicans. That is the greedy Jew, right? The outsider, the shifty charlatan, chaos maker over things that don't exist. Well, the Free Beacon and about 5 other outlets wrote about it because it was newsworthy. It's a problem, right? I mean, what do you think?
Okay, so I'm a little confused about her wanting to teach the Holocaust denial.
Right.
So is she denying it, or she wants people to see it from the truth or the people that are nuts up?
I really don't know, but based on her prior history, what do you think?
I mean, I don't understand why she would want denial taught in school. I guess that's where things just get a little...
Well, the implication was it wasn't fair to teach about the Holocaust. So to make it more fair, you should teach about denial too.
So, and this is just in her view, then if we teach slavery is wrong, then we should also teach about the people that think slavery is right. Correct. Like how you can see how that could be a huge dark hole you could jump down. I don't know. That's just,
well, as a Jew,
really strange.
I find it very offensive.
Of course it's offensive. It's offensive to me. My grandfather fought in World War II. I mean,
I find it offensive, very offensive. But again, what she would say is, I don't have a right to be offended. Only she does, right? Double standards.
Yeah. So who I'm pointing out as I'm seeing these, she literally goes to find Jewish people to pick fights with.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep. So here's another example of this, the greedy outsider. Okay. The shifty outsider. We're only after big money. We damage real groups. In other words, we're a danger to Republicans. We're a danger to grassroots efforts. We're dangerous, right? We're being denied the same right as other parent groups, Moms for Liberty, all kinds of other groups. We're singled out. Why? Well, okay. Let's see. EFA destroying conservative populist activist groups for money and to ruin the MAGA movement. So we're destroying the MAGA movement now. And Is that lost on you, that picture?
No. I mean, our group isn't just you. I mean, and I'm not taking away from who you are, but especially where it
Oh,
says the liberal Jewish group. I mean, we have
well,
very varying backgrounds.
well, this was an early partner of ours,
Oh, okay.
an organization called Lawfare, which, by the way, in liberal and conservative, they defend the rights of Jewish students all over the country. Because, as you're well aware, on college campuses, you do have far lefties, coming up against Jewish students. So,
Yep.
what she was trying to do is say, "Wow, look, the Jews, right, are untrustworthy and shifty."
And they
Um,
just want your money.
correct, which is a total theme the entire time. So this is who she is. Her name's Carrie Donovan. She is a writer for Ben Berquam. I don't know if I spelled that right. And for Davis Harris Jr. I know that's going to make you upset because, you know, you like him. But,
Mhm.
just to tell you